Alpine were a complete mess in 2025, but they could be a World Championship contender in 2026, going from the bottom of the standings to pushing for wins in the space of just one season. How can this happen? Let me feed you some Kool-Aid. Let's start with the obvious, the regulation changes. They're big. Development time is crucial, and no team has more wind tunnel time than this group of bozos. I can say that as someone that's been a fan since they were Benetton and suffered yearly heartbreaks every year outside of when I was 9 years old. They also decided to sack off developing their 2025 car really early in order to focus on getting a head start for the big regulation shift. And with the launches of the new cars now mostly behind us, and Alpine's looking identical to nearly every other car they've released, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. The rear wing looks interesting. No other car on the grid seems to have this approach, and the front suspension also seems to be generating discussion. Whether this actually translates into lap time is anyone's guess, but it's clear the team have tried to maximise the extra wind tunnel time to enjoy a season of celebratory tweets and not collected data ones. Of course, the main talking point is the engine. Alpine are one of only 3 teams using the Mercedes power unit in 2026, and with the German team currently favourites to win the Constructors' title due to a hidden advantage, it could well see Alpine leap up the pack in terms of pace. Let's also not forget that Flavio Briatore is back at the helm, at least until Christian Horner potentially sneaks in. It's easy to dispel Briatore for his controversies and intimidating persona, but let's not forget what he achieved in Formula 1. 2 world titles with Renault, and he was the man who snagged a rookie Michael Schumacher to Benetton, fulfilling his role as a relentless businessman. Sure, there have been more cheating scandals than a series of Love Island, but Briatore understands the economics of Formula 1, and partnered with a window where his team can go all in on a regulation change, it might just be a case of the stars aligning. Upon his arrival, he ripped into the team and gutted what he deemed excess fat, including team principal Oliver Oakes, to put Flav back in the driver's seat. The 2025 season overall, though, was terrible. Many people questioned the early firing of Jack Doohan, who was definitely a liability in his first few races. His replacement, Franco Colapinto, shined for Williams during an emergency stretch in 2024, but it was boom or bust, which is understandable given his lack of F1 experience at the time. It's easy to look at Oliver Behrman's one race that year and see the difference, but you have to note that Behrman had much more F1 testing under his belt. Franco enters 2026 with a full off-season of testing, something he hasn't had in his career up to this point. In 2025, he did what he couldn't in 2024, which is bring the car home reliably. While Doohan may have been quicker in spurts, Franco kept the car on the track, not receiving a single DNF, while Doohan had posted 2 retirements and the bizarre DRS practice incident in Japan. What really sealed the deal, though, was the controversy at the United States Grand Prix. Instructed to stay behind Pierre Gasly, but knowing he was on a tight leash, Colapinto full sent it to overtake his teammate in the dying stages and make a statement. It was risky, but something that showed the world he still has that dog in him. Speaking of Pierre, though, he needs no introduction or explanation as to why he could be good in 2026. His ability to get the most out of an absolute tractor is stunning. Scoring points is one thing, but multiple Q3s speak volumes about his pace and determination. Gasly has matured into a consistently fast driver who has no problem fighting with bigger dogs in battles he has little chance of winning. Is this a World Championship makeup? It's too early and too hard to say, but a great driver pairing comprising of young hunger and mature consistency, an engine advantage, more wind tunnel time, and a gamble to stop development on the 2025 car early to focus on this year may put the team in a good stead. Oh, and there's a ruthless team boss who has the chance to do the unthinkable once again, something he's done a lot during his F1 career. It would be great to see Alpine back fighting for podium spots and maybe even a race win or 2. Again, it's too early to start calling those kind of predictions, but for the first time in a long time, there's some positivity in Enstone. And that has to be noted after a recent trajectory that has just been misery, misery, and more misery. Let me know what you think in the comments about Alpine's title hopes in 2026. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out this documentary on the history of Toyota Formula 1 team.